When I decided I wanted to build a Mustang, I had three main goals. It had to go fast around corners, it had to be street registered, and it had to be period correct. My name is Richy Martinez, and this is my Raven Black 1965 Mustang. I chose the 1965 because it's the lightest of the early Mustangs, and at the time it was the most cost-effective. I heard about a six-cylinder 65 Mustang through a friend of mine. It was a fresh import from America, so I went and had a look, and it was actually a really solid base. Really didn't need much rust repair. We actually ended up retaining a lot of the original steel, which is pretty rare for a Mustang. The body was put on a rotisserie and stripped back to bare metal, inside, outside. Start fresh, right? We did some extensive but subtle strengthening and bracing to the body and chassis, and then we also added the cam spec roll cage. I spent some time researching what the Trans Am guys did in the States and also locally. The Group N guys as well, got a lot of inspiration from what they do to make these old girls steer. I absolutely love the 1965 bright red interior, and I'm a sucker for black cars, so it was really a no-brainer for me. As far as concourse finishes, I had to have the red oxide underneath, how they had from factory. Not the best option for a car you're going to thrash at the track, but hey, whatever. I added my own little touches as well, so I did the Tirana GTR gills on the front guards. I deleted the rear fuel cap. I did the Kirky seats in the bright red interior, which is really cool. The wood grain Nardi, and I finished the look with three-piece SSR Longchamp XR4s in custom sizes, a little homage to my passion for Japanese cars. The suspension and steering is a combination of Cobra Automotive and Mike Mayer in the States, including rear panhard and sway bar. The front is 4-pot Kelsey Hayes with some trick pads, and the rear we're running the big Shelby or GTHO 2.5-inch drums. The aim was to retain the 1965 tech, so it's still got the old drag link setup, still got stamped steel control arms, still live axle rear end. I guess the only time we deviated from that was the powered steering box. When it came to the motor, I figured we should wait and see what all the suspension steering mods did on track before we spent too much on the motor, and I ran out of budget. It's a bog stock AU 302 roller motor, which we converted back to carby with Edelbrock products. Exhaust is just a tri-wire setup off the shelf, sent to a 2.5-inch exhaust. Transmission is a rebuilt 4-speed top loader with a heavy-duty clutch, and that's sent to a shortened 9-inch with a True Track LSD. I used the 1970 Mustang fuel tank for the extra capacity, and I had the tank modified to have a swell pot put in. I then had some fun and installed a GT350R inspired fuel filler. I honestly didn't know what to expect when we first took the car out on the racetrack, which is actually a bit of a funny story too. The first available track day was at Queensland Raceway, and it was a morning drift session, and I thought, why not? The Mustang performed way better than I expected, and turn some heads at a drift event. I'm glad I ended up installing a Skyline handbrake setup rather than the old underdash pull setup that the Mustang came with. Next, it was time to put it through its paces at the sprint track. I was stoked to lay down a 62-second on the QR sprint track, and that was with fuel issues. Since then, I've opted for some bigger wheels and tread to try and chase down the elusive 60-second mark. The aim for this year is to build a tough motor for it, still period correct, so 289, carby, etc. And it would be awesome if it would rev to something silly.